iris technology. Here are my team members. My name is Lakshman, he is Satish, he is Pranit Reddy and Prasad. The iris technology, it is one of the technology based on eye. Today, the pressure on systems administrations to have the system security ever increased. So with the iris technology, we can increase our information to more secure. Iris technology, a biometric, provides one of the most secure methods of authentication and identification. This technology makes more useful in such areas like to secure our ATMs and airport security, information security, physical access security. And coming to the point of what is biometrics. Biometrics is a science and technology of measuring and analyzing biological data. In the information technology, biometric refers to technology that measures and analyzes human body characteristics such as DNA, fingerprints, voice patterns, facial patterns, iris for authentication process. Iris technology, iris introduction. The iris recognition is biometric technology which deals with identification based on human iris. In today's information technology, world security for systems is becoming more and more important. The three main types of introductions that something you know such as password, you have card or token, and something you know biometrics. Biometric identification utilizes physiological and behavioral characteristics to authentical or persons to identify. It is considered to be most accurate biometric technology available today. Out of all the various physical characteristics, using of the iris technology, we can use more we can secure our information more. And the iris is an internal organ of the body, but it can be visible from outside. It is located between the cornea and the lens of eyes. The purpose of the iris is to control the amount of light that enters the eye. The iris has complex random patterns which differ in each eye, and no two eyes can have the same iris pattern. It means the two eyes don't have the same iris pattern. We can keep password with one eye and different with other eye, and even not two, even a single individual. From overall of this iris technology, now coming to the present situations, we are not secure 100% of information. I think using of this technology we can secure more better than present situations. So next we will continue with Satish.
Hello everyone. Today now I am going to explain how this iris technology works. First of all, the image is captured using the camera with the visible light and the infrared light, and this is done in the manual and the automatic process. Once the image is this image is captured within the distance of 5 to 25 inches, or even within 1 meter by advanced cameras. After capturing the image, the iris recognition system will identify the image which is having the best quality, and it will take the picture like I will show you in this. The white color is the sclera, and the black one which is called as a pupil, and in between the black and the white color, that one is called as this one is called the iris. How the image is stored, like how we can protect, we can keep it as a password. When the image is captured, is then processed by a special kind of software which will identify the iris from the outer and the inner boundaries of the iris. The iris pattern from the image are then encoded into the 512-bit code by using a Dogman's algorithm, which is called as iris code. and this code is immediately encrypted for the security purpose to not to theft. And how we compare this iris code, like the comparison is done between the live iris code and the recorded iris code, which is stored in the database. We think that it would be a very complex situation to compare, but it is very simple and it is very easy, and we can compare within few seconds, and it has a speed of 10,000 codes per second. We can compare 10,000 codes per second, and the structure of the iris code is in the form of bits. When the live iris code is recorded, this code will be compared with the recorded iris code. If it match, it compares each and every bit. If one bit will match, then it will assign a value of 0. If the bits will not match, then it will assign the value 1. Once all the bits have been compared, the number of non-matching bits will be divided by the total number of bits to provide a two-figure value, which is called as iris code record differ. This is done by using the Hamming distance method. Example, let us take the difference is about 0.20, which means that it has a the iris code will have a difference of 20%. As Lakshman said that no two iris will have the same code. Even the twins will not have the same iris code, and even a single human being, we have two eyes, right? Not two eyes will have the same iris code. They have the different iris code, and the remaining part will be explained by Pranit.
Good morning, one and all. Just in brief, I just would like to explain some working parts of iris. There are 4 elements which plays crucial role in iris recognition. The first and foremost part of this iris recognition is image acquisition. It is one of the major challenges of iris recognition in order to capture a high quality picture while remaining non-invasive human operators. And the second, in brief, I would like to explain some of the concerns of image recognition, especially in image acquisition, which captures images with sufficient resolution and sharpness of the picture and good contrast in the interior iris pattern with proper illumination. And if any distortions or any other bad segments were found, it will immediately eliminated and just processed into the next step. And the last step is artifacts. It's like distortions which should be eliminated in the same process as much as possible. As you see the text here, I mean, like you see, if a person stands in front of camera, the mission stores the main, like he said, it takes the irrespective parts of the eye, like pupil and sclera, and stores into the mission, and later is divided into some frames like extraction, segmentation, and all the process done in the next step. And whatever it is stored, it is stored for the permanent. It is up to 30 years, and later they can compare if they want. And the next, pre-processing. Pre-processing is also plays a crucial role in iris recognition. Pre-processing in iris recognition, like I said before, the machine is also takes some other irrelevant parts, not only iris. It takes, for instance, eyelid and pupil, and these two segments is also considered as basic image of an iris. So the pre-processing is breakdowns into two more process in iris localization. This operator should determine iris part of the image by localizing and the position of the image, which is derived in two boundaries, like inside the limit it is determined as outer boundary, and outside the purple is determined as inner boundary. And finally, after partitioning into two segments, they will finally calculate it into one process, like converting into iris suitable representation, and then fix it according to the process. And then in this, the next process is edge detection. It is used to find complex objects like boundaries, what we discussed. Boundaries, like it is a complex part. It is like hidden parts, so that the implementation should be made in care by marking potential edge. Potential is like edge point corresponding to the places in an image where rapid changes in brightness occurs. It directly point you to the brightness, and then later on picture will take it. Here edge is defined by the discontinuity in gray values, and edge separates two distinct objects. And the last is image analysis. The future of the iris or the analyzed and digitized into 512 bytes, and this is what we call is it iris record code. It's like 261 first off is described as the futures, and the second 261 is described as a for it is used for the comparisons, like if you want you can use it later in any future later on. Iris recognition, the last step in iris working principles. Iris recognition is nothing but it's like even here we have classification, 4 classification types. The first one is selection, extraction, enhancement, and matching. First and foremost, if any picture is taken, it should be captured and must be removed any blurred and occluded images occur. It will eliminate according to the process, and then it will process to the future extractions. If in case any blurred images were want to delete, it follow its process like dividing into some partitions, and according to the partition it will calculate. Futures in initial image are very subtle and difficult to detect, so that if any blurred images were found, it always try to detect in the first stage of analysis recognition. And then typical operations apply to increase contrast, like finding the brightness pictures and or any images. If you want to delete any blurred or any extractions, we'll use localization and normalization, etc. If like I said, iris code record is stored in the database for future comparisons. If in case any person dies or anything happened to purple, it can again use for the future comparison. And then during a recognition attempt, when iris is present at a recognition attempt, the same process is repeated. Anyway, the resulted iris code record is not stored, but compared to the every file in the database where the data is stored. Okay, fine. The remaining process will be continued by the Fred.
Hello everyone. Here I would like to discuss some advantages of iris technology. Okay. This technology is highly protected internal organ of the eye, and it is also externally visible patterns imaged from a distance. This pattern apparently stable throughout the life. Like we no need to remember any passwords, and there is no problem of forgetting the passwords like that. This is the single time once we create, it's a lifetime one, and the image analysis and the encoding is done in only 1 second. It's a time saving process too, and the search speed is like 100,000 times like iris code pass per second. Some applications of iris recognition system are computer login, the iris as a living password, and the national border controls, the iris is living passport, and also the driving licenses and the personal certificates. And in internal security, premises access control like home, office, and laboratory. And is also used in anti-terrorism, like security screening, and at airports like that, in some other places, border security places, and in financial transactions. like in e-commerce, electronic commerce, and banking sections, and like we can access securely in banks. Finally, the conclusion. Nowadays, the biometric technology has great potential, and also there are many biometric products around and regarding the different biometric technologies. Since after the September 11th incident, these biometric products are pushed forward, and some of the shortcoming biometrics systems are due to like manufacturers' ignorance of security concerns, and also the lack of quality control, and also the standardization problems. And finally, the manufacturers have to take security concerns very seriously. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Iris, questions, eyes. So even this eye is not the same eye. So
They have the different code.
different code. Very good. Any other questions? Well, I'm sure there will be more questions later on, and this is never ending. This has great potential. So thank you very much again.
Iris technology. Here are my team members. My name is Lakshman. He is Satish. He is Pranit Reddy and Prasad. The Iris technology, it is one of the technology based on eye. Today, the pressure on systems administrations to have the system security ever increased. So with the Iris technology, we can increase our information to more secure. Iris technology, a biometric provides one of the most secure methods of authentication and identification. In today's information technology, world security for systems is becoming more and more important. The three main types of introductions that something you know, such as password, you have card or token, and something you know, biometrics. Biometric identification utilizes physiological and behavioral characteristics to authentical or persons refers to technology that measures and analyze human body characteristics such as DNA, fingerprints, voice patterns, facial patterns, iris for authentication process. Iris technology, iris introduction. The iris recognition is biometric technology which deals with identification based on human iris. This technology makes more useful in such areas like to secure our ATMs and airport security, information security, physical access security. And coming to the point of what is biometrics. Biometrics is a science and technology of measuring and analyzing biological data. In the information technology, biometric